so much snow outside today. We had a huge like winter storm, snowstorm watch warning, whatever, like the past day or two. We ended up getting like over 6 inches, maybe almost 9 inches of snow. So yesterday, as you saw, it was completely cozy. We put up all of our Christmas decorations. We just like watched some movies, made a good dinner, and just got things really cozy and really cute and just relaxed like the whole day. Today, obviously, it's cold enough. All of the snow is definitely still here, but it is so pretty. It's the kind where it's really heavy, so it kind of like covers and weighs down like tree branches and things like that, but it's absolutely gorgeous. I love seeing when the snow is really fresh. Today is going to be a fairly simple day. I just had a really slow morning today with all of the snow and the winter, so I woke up, had a little breakfast. In a few hours, I'll be getting ready to go on Twitch. My friends and I made a little team, and we're going to be competing like against other teams on someone's Twitch channel to kind of like, yeah, we're just playing like a Jackbox game. We're doing like Bomb Corp, if you guys have heard of that one. I think it's in like the Jackbox Party 2-pack. This person's channel, Lights Camera Seek, primarily does competition kind of streams, and I believe he's doing one between like the different guilds, because there's like different Twitch guilds. I'm on the Pride Guild and I'm on the Women's Guild. Today I'm representing as a part of the Women's Guild with my friend Sheila, Farah, and Pink. I have no idea what to expect because I haven't done this on this person's channel before, so it'll be fun to see. But until then, I am going to be starting a new book. Last night I finished Martyr by Kaveh Akbar. I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I am so sorry because I know that this has been such a well-regarded and very well-loved book this year. And last year, because I think it was published last year. I want to be clear, I did not think the book was really all that bad, and I definitely did not hate the book, but I also just didn't love it either. I kind of thought it was sort of middle of the road. I gave it 3 stars on my Goodreads. So Martyr is a book about Cyrus Shams, who is deciding to write a book about martyrdom because he's sort of gained an obsession with the idea of making our lives and our deaths kind of like mean something. He gains this obsession because when he was a very young child, his mother was on an airplane flying from Iran over the Persian Gulf, and it turns out that the United States military shot down the plane and everyone aboard died. It turns out that it was a senseless act of violence, but also just like a mistake on their part because they didn't realize it was just like a civilian airplane. Cyrus is sort of grappling with this really difficult information for like his entire life. His dad and him moved to the United States and they try to build a better life for themselves, but unfortunately Cyrus's entire like adult life but he deals very heavily with addiction and drug use. He ends up having to go to rehab for alcoholism. And so when we're meeting Cyrus is when he's at the tail end of being sober. Not the tail end of being sober, but more at the beginning, I guess I should say, more the beginning of his sobriety. He ends up connecting with an artist, and I won't really say much about who this person is or why they ended up connecting in case you are interested in reading the book. But it was when he met this artist is actually when I found myself kind of losing the plot a little bit. I felt like it really started to drag on just like a little bit too much. The two of them have a lot of conversations about death and just like the meaning of life. You know, everything that Cyrus is struggling to comprehend or emotionally analyze, whatever you want to, however you would like to put it. And I unfortunately found the conversations to be very oddly shallow and very oddly surface level. I'm not gonna lie, some of the phrases felt like I was reading something off of a Tumblr post versus something that would have been in a beautifully written in a literary fiction book, you know? And that's just my personal opinion. And I just sort of felt like that throughout like the entire book. The book is written in a way where it's not like super linear. The events of Cyrus's life is very linear, but it goes between like chapters where it goes to people's different viewpoints and his family members, as well as like some of his friends and the people around him. And some of my favorite chapters were the peeks into his mother's viewpoint and what she was going through while she was like growing up and while she was married and getting ready to have Cyrus and stuff like that. And those sections were so beautifully written, and I wanted more of that, and I felt like I only got that when we were writing and reading about his mother. The other thing that was my favorite would have been the very, very ending of the book and the resolution of the story while Cyrus and his friend Z were talking. Those two things I wanted so much more of in terms of how the author was writing stylistically. I know that so many people love this book, and it was a favorite for a lot of people, so I do feel a little bad. I'm not gonna lie, but out of a lot of the books that I've been reading recently, it's not up there. I'm very sorry to say. I am gonna be getting ready to start reading The Lamb by Lucy Rose. I have heard so many incredible things about this book. I am very excited to read it. I am so sorry. It's another horror book that deals probably with cannibalism. Don't look at me. I am sorry that this is a common theme in my books this year that I'm reading. It's getting to about that time. I have to make myself a quick little checklist of everything I need to be focusing on tomorrow. I can definitely tell I'm like coming up on my period. I'm feeling a little bit moody, a little bit irritable right now. And I just can like tell my energy levels are just so low. Like I'm definitely not feeling as motivated. But I was in such a mood today and I read through so much of The Lamb already. I have basically only taken like a couple of days to almost read this book. I have about 40 pages left, 40 to 50, somewhere in that range. It's incredible. Anyway, so far so good. I will definitely be finishing this up probably even tonight when I go to bed, or you know, tomorrow night. Either way, it'll be only just like another day or two before I can give you like my full thoughts on it. But really, with only like 40 to 50 pages left, like the author would have to make some like pretty awful decisions, I feel like, to change my mind, because like right now I'm really enjoying it. As you saw while I was at Barnes & Noble today, I did end up getting this entomology calendar. Those of you that have already known me, whether from like streams on here, TikTok, whatever, you kind of already know like I'm not really a bug girly. I think bug girlies are super cool, and I think y'all are so cool. And I admire bugs for what they do for the planet and the environment and our ecosystems. But truth be told, they freak me out. Anyway, but I love art of bugs. So I don't know. I kind of feel the same with mushrooms too. Like, I actually really don't like to eat mushrooms, but I like the aesthetic of mushrooms. I like mushroom art. I like to appreciate mushrooms for what they do for our planet. But I loved the art in this. I really love this sort of retro old school vibe. It's gonna go up and replace that calendar that I have up there that I have kept up since 2024, only because I felt like it was just the cutest and perfect calendar to fill in that spot there. It's about to be 2026. I need to let it go. Barnes & Noble has some great calendars, I might add. But then while I was there, I grabbed this really, really pretty journal. You can kind of see that there's like the little sun in the middle. There's this lock here too, or I don't even know if I'd call it a lock, but it's kind of a magnetic clasp that holds it together. And then like the edge of the paper is printed in like this really pretty floral design. But it was, I don't know, it was giving me really cool, like magical whimsy kind of vibes. I really wanted to have a dedicated notebook for as I get more and more into tarot. My friend Sopa, who I met on Twitch, does like a monthly Warlock collective, and they've been teaching everybody like what they know about tarot and just like how to study it. But ever since joining the collective, I haven't always been studying up on my own like all the time. So that's my goal in the new year, is to take that more seriously as a personal practice and not rely so heavily on like a group collective idea. It's hardcover, in case you can't tell, and then of course it is lined, perfect size little paper. And then while I was at Barnes & Noble, they never have Pokemon cards, and today they freaking did. I want to open these so badly right now, but I stream tomorrow, and I kind of already told a friend that I would open them up on stream tomorrow. So I have to sit here and wait. I am pretty new to Pokemon. It was just not something I was allowed to watch or play with or collect the cards when I was a kid. And especially with Pokemon ZA that came out recently. Fantastic game, by the way. It is so good. I am flying my way through the story right now. But with that in mind, I am definitely developing a Pokemon obsession, and I would like to collect cards. Hopefully we'll get a cool pull. We'll see. Okay, I don't have a ton of time,
but I am off to get a new piercing today. I'm very excited. I am getting my conch pierced, which I have wanted for a really long time. The shop I'm going to also has done my septum piercing. Different piercer, if I remember correctly, because I did get this like 4 years ago at this point. And that actually would have been, I think, my last piercing. Right now I'm just making a quick sandwich so I have something to eat on the go. Nothing exciting, literally just some peanut butter and sliced bread. A gentle and friendly reminder that even as something as simple as getting a piercing, you have to make sure that you have food in your stomach. Do not go in thinking you can do stuff like a piercing or a tattoo on an empty stomach, because getting something like that done does affect your blood sugar, and it can like spike and lower things, and you could potentially pass out from it, even for something just as simple as a piercing. So next time I see you, I will have it done. I'm very excited, and then we'll get to chatting some more.
Okay, so I can't talk too long because I keep doing that thing where I'm recording like right before I need to stream. Absolutely love the way that the conch piercing turned out. It is so freaking cute. It's taking all of my power right now to not just sit there and like touch and fiddle with it. The way that piercers recommend doing piercings now is so different from the way aftercare was like taught by piercers. Like even when I was getting it done, like in my college years, for example, like now it's very, don't touch it, don't twist it, don't like pick off the crust, like any of that. Like let the sprayer, the saline sprayer, whatever you're using, like clean that stuff out just like naturally for you. And now like everything is just, you got to do it with like a long straight bar. Other than like a couple piercings have to be done with a hoop. Take for like a septum, for example, has to be done with a hoop. I remember when I was a kid, there was a lot of like, do you want to do a hoop or do you want to do studs? But now I think it's pretty heavily recommended to just do it with like a stud with a long post. And then after some time you go back and see your piercer and then they size it down for you. So, you know, in somewhere like, I think she said about 4 to 6 weeks, maybe a smidge longer than that. I have to like double check my care paperwork. I will go in and get a shorter post. My piercer was great, super informative. She was super, super sweet. We had a great conversation. And then she also helped me change out my tragus hoop. Cause again, I got it done when I was like 18. And then a few years later, just picked some random ass hoop off of the internet to like replace it with. And so I got one that was just more appropriately sized in terms of like diameter. The one I had previously was way too big. I should have gotten a smaller one. As for this book, it was incredible. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars on my story graph. This book made me really, really sad. And as shocking as it is, like the real horror in this book, like isn't even the cannibalism. It's how the main protagonist, Margot, is treated by her mother in the household. And the taboo topic at hand, cannibalism, is honestly just used as a way to kind of analyze control and abuse and manipulation. And that stuff was really, really hard to read emotionally. I definitely want to say there's like a very heavy trigger warning for just being talked to by your parent. Man, how do I put this? I don't want to say like as their spouse, but expecting you to like fulfill a love and hole in their heart that you really can't do as a child, if that makes sense. For example, there's a lot of dialogue that is, you know, you used to be so perfect. You never used to question me. What happened to your love for me? You just clearly don't love your mother anymore. Like, it's a lot of stuff like that. And just the way that I wanted to just go scoop up Margot and protect her myself was so heavily in my heart. I have definitely dealt with that in my own parental relationships. It was really tough. but it was a great book. It was very well written. And honestly, like, yes, in this instance, the author was using something that is a very taboo subject to kind of represent the energy and control and abuse in the household. But really, like, this is the kind of stuff that you do see when parents have addiction problems, when it's like an extremely religious household. And I just couldn't help but see the parallels in it. It's like almost taking in a very extreme form to show you how kind of fucked up and messed up it is that people would talk to their children this way or try to control their children in this way. Very well done. I loved it. You really feel the danger. You can really see how the energy and dynamics of the household kind of change when a new love like enters her mom's life. Just as a fun aside, it was also a very queer book. It's a lot of sapphic romance, both with the mom and the main protagonist as well too. Again, because of the taboo nature of the book, it's not going to be something for everyone. But if you are someone that isn't afraid to kind of dive into that thing, it's grotesque, it's intense, it's really sad. But in the end, it is analyzing the relationship between a mother and daughter and the abuse and control that has been put onto that child. She was essentially failed in being raised in a very loving and protective household.